Is that okay? I mean, many careers are short-lived. For example, professional athletes tend to be very young and retire at a very early age. Many public school teachers teach for a few years and then transition careers. Even restaurant servers tend to age out around their late 20s. I mean, these are just a few among many careers that are hard to do over a long period of time because they demand too much physically or mentally. For the most part, the people in those professions seem to know that. Many people transition between careers throughout their lives. Is it so tragic that a model, especially a Playboy model, gets her biggest paycheck at 21, then moves on to doing something else? Maybe not, but it does get complicated. Because in Playboy's world, even as the brevity of the women's careers in Playboy is a known source of anxiety to the leads, Playboy actively portrays itself as a company dedicated to tradition, stability, and lack of change. In other words, despite the need for a constant stream of new women to replace the old, there is in the girls next door nevertheless an illusion of stasis in Playboyland, perpetuated by the rigid routine and tradition required by Hef. Throughout the series, the history of Playboy plays a major role. Hef is continually referencing events from the 70s and 80s.
I'd like to recognize another special member of the Playboy family. This is her 43rd anniversary with the company. This is also her last day because she's retiring. Please join me in applauding a close friend and a great photo of her, Marilyn Grabowski. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of another very special member of the Playboy family, Barbie Benton. We go back a lot of years. I love her, and I'm more pleased than I can tell you that she is here today.
The three leads are always talking about annual Playboy events that have been held for many, many years.
The Midsummer Night Dream Party is a party that happens always the first weekend in August.
Shout out to our whole 27th annual Playboy Jazz Festival, USA!
Every year we usually get together in a big old bus and go look at a neighborhood that has Christmas lights.
Oh, here's Ben.
Oh, look at her.
Oh my God,
I think we should tell each other what our resolution is.
And Hef's routine, down to the exact meals he eats, never really varies, even when he travels outside the country.
What we have here is Hefner's soup setup, his standard soup, because every single day he orders the same thing, a creature of habit. We have his saltine crackers. We do our best that we don't have any broken ones in here. He gets his own special oatmeal cookies.
His life doesn't really ever change. When women leave, new ones come. When staff quit, others replace them. The one source of constancy is Playboy itself. The series itself, Girls Next Door, is set mostly around the mansion, which becomes a symbol of Hef and Playboy, sort of gothic callback to historical styles of architecture which feel very old, almost stuffy, contrasted with the youthful energy of the three leads. But this contrast serves the show, which continually draws the viewer's attention to the age gap between Hef, born in 1926, and Holly, born in 1979. An almost 53-year age gap. One could argue that this is a symbiotic relationship. The youth of the three leads balances out Hef's crotchety old man fastidiousness, while Hef's power and the stability he represents balances out the impetuosity and energy, and at times instability of the youthful three leads. While Hef would be content to cycle between his morning meals and occasional club outings, it's Bridget, Kendra, and Holly who come up with the new novel activities to film for the show. If the show were just about Hef, it would just be him eating soup in his bedroom. It's the women who make it fun to watch because they're the ones doing new and different things. Dressing up, trying new hobbies, making new friends, going new places. However, while the show profits from balancing these elements of age and youth, the show also profits from depicting the drama that results from clashes between these forces. For example, Hef or one of the leads occasionally reference the idea that this time is just a phase in the woman's life. In an episode in Paris, Hef tells Bridget, Kendra, and Holly as they look at the Eiffel Tower to remember this moment, which is interesting, because it implies that one day they will be away from the mansion and have to be reminded about it. But it also implies that they will want to remember the mansion. It's as if Playboy and the mansion is a place no one except Hef can ever really stay, which nevertheless exerts a gravitational pull. And in a Halloween episode, Bridget mentions wanting to one day haunt the mansion when she's a ghost. While this is obviously said playfully, it does reference a desire she has to remain a part of the Playboy world. But of course, no woman wanting to be in the magazine can remain part of the Playboy world for long. There is no place for a woman over a certain age unless they are Hef's secretary. Charlie references seeing a future career for herself as editor at the magazine, but Hef seems resistant to this idea, preferring the fantasy of her as a perpetual live-in girlfriend, never elevating her to the status of wife and partner, refusing to really confide in her, and yet nevertheless perpetuating the lie that she can exist as she currently is forever, without changing.
Just because it's not just being involved with Playboy, it's, being in Hef's life, and we're in love, and it affects everything I do. I love Hef, and I love the girls, and I love the direction all of our lives has taken.
So many of my dreams have already come true, and now I'm aspiring for so much more, and the doors are opening, and I just feel like now's my time to shine.
I think being involved with Playboy and Hef's life changed my life a lot. The things around me have changed, but I haven't changed. When the clubs start opening again, it'll be huge. Play will be huge. Play will rule the world.
But of course that's impossible because Hef's company is founded on the idea that women are largely interchangeable. Last month's woman is replaced with this month's, and she too will be replaced by next month's. The never-ending stream of beautiful women, the constant turnover of youthful faces, is a change that enables him to have a life of stability, and his routine. In other words, the instability and transience of the playmates' careers and his girlfriend's place in his life is the price they pay for Hef's secure lifestyle. Their constant change enables his lack of change. But of course, no one can escape the forces of age and change forever. When Hefner died in 2017, this was perhaps the final nail in the coffin of the Playboy fantasy. And this disparity between the mansion and its illusion of stasis, and the constant activity and change in the girls' lives, is what gives the show its staying power. It offers a fantasy that the viewer knows can never be fulfilled, yet is fascinated to see attempted. The viewer knows that none of the three leads can really build a future in the mansion, yet the series continues on blithely, as if the temporary nature of their lives isn't a constant threat to the show. The series tries to feel cozy, and it does succeed. The leads even call themselves part of a Playboy family. But what kind of family disbands after 5 years of being together? I guess Playboy's kind of family. The kind where women are no longer viable past 30, where every day has to be lived according to routine, never deviating, never changing. I have one more thought regarding age in Playboy and the girls next door. Perhaps aging in women is particularly deadly to the Playboy brand because Playboy profited from the portrayal of women as ingenues, meaning innocents. A girl next door is supposed to be naive, approachable, someone who isn't too worldly or sophisticated, but someone we can relate to, someone who is like us. Playboy doesn't want women to look too old, in part because it portrays youth as beauty, but also because it portrays innocence as beauty. When we age, we inevitably lose innocence while we gain wisdom and experience. But in Playboy's world, wisdom and experience aren't appealing in a woman. Rather, those traits are gendered male. Women are supposed to be young, naive ingenues, and men are supposed to be wise, experienced, full of innuendos. This is portrayed repeatedly throughout the series when Hef cracks a joke and delights in Kendra not getting it. He likes the idea that Kendra isn't as knowledgeable as he is about certain things. But when the women make a good joke or are very knowledgeable about a subject, Hef appears out of his element. Again, the series makes the infantilization of women appealing. Kendra, Holly, and Bridget are portrayed as being very youthful, vibrant, fun in how they photograph on camera to how they organize their rooms. With Bridget preferring a cute pink aesthetic that a 9-year-old girl would envy, to Kendra having a bedroom that resembles a teenager's, to Holly not even getting her own space and instead existing solely within Hef's orbit, like a child who has yet to ask her parent for her own room. In some ways, this portrayal of women as being even more youthful than they are is charming, especially to younger viewers who can relate to them. But it dooms the show. A show based on the unchanging youth of its leads can't last, and this one didn't.